Well, hi, I'm Dr. Simon Breakspear, and thanks so much for exploring together what an agile approach to school improvement might actually look like. I think all of us who are engaged in the difficult, complex, and worthy work of school improvement all need to be open to not just working harder at what we're doing, but every now and again pausing and rethinking perhaps what's the best type of approach to actually get cut through. Might there be better approaches that could help us get to the meaningful change that we're interested in? So often we just roll over into another year, fill out the templates, work through the rhythms and routines. And yet deep down, we know we're stuck in some form of improvement theatre. You see, we've all got aspirations to bring change into our schools, right? Whether it's in teaching and learning, behavior, well-being, engagement with community, building professional learning cultures, using evidence-informed practice, I'm sure there's a range of things that you're personally passionate about, that you want to move forward, that your data is suggesting to you that actually should be a real priority in your work. The question for all of us, head teachers working with their teams, principals with their teams, is to start asking, what is it like to actually improve an organization like a school? Is it simple, linear, and predictable work? Like, do we start all of this with a perfect picture of where we want to end up in the future? We know with clarity in 3-4 years from now, the school's going to look like this, or classrooms are going to look like this, and people are going to be working in this way. And well, do we then know all at the beginning, all the component parts? Like almost like modern Lego, where you've got the little bags and they're numbered. Do this part, then this part, then this part. And then is our job as leaders in schools just to kind of follow the simple plan. It's already written up. Just open the bag, put things together, get the impact. Well, I'm sure you feel from experience what I can see as a researcher, that actually school improvement is possible, that it's very rarely simple, linear, and predictable. In fact, it's deeply complex and relational, and the internal environment will keep changing on you, whilst the external environment, the policy environment, the other things going on outside of a school are shifting. And we need to find ways to still pursue our absolutely meaningful progress areas, but we need to do that in a way that can handle the ongoing adjustments and changes that are necessary. And so for me, the concept of agility is a really empowering one. And we found that for many leaders across multiple countries, they've said to us, you know what, when I've done school improvement well, even though I haven't used the term agile, I've definitely taken a more iterative approach in the past. And so what we've been doing as a team, working alongside thousands of leaders over the last half decade or so, is starting to think about a more agile approach to doing the school improvement work we're already engaged with. And really combining that sense of strategic clarity, we want to head in a certain direction, with implementation flexibility. You see, agility in our leadership work of improvement is all about embracing iteration. It means we're okay with the fact that we're going to have to start before we're ready. We're not going to have all the component bits we're going to need from the outset, but we can get going with clarity. We can learn as we go. We can celebrate and course correct, and we can move forward. It means that leaders are constantly orientating themselves to the shifts in the environment. What's going on? We're focusing on the next most important thing we've got agency over, and we're willing to learn our way to impact in context. And so if you think about the three key things that we're always doing in the work of school improvement, is that we're thinking, we're acting or executing, and we're monitoring. The thinking often happens at the front end of the work when we're actually getting involved in writing or updating our school improvement plan, our school development plans. And here we can really get very muddled in our work. Really intelligent, capable, experienced leaders can end up filling out all the templates and really getting into muddled, messy thinking. And so what we suggest is actually really embracing an approach, clear thinking, where we're just getting to the simple clear, shared direction. What is it that we're really trying to do? And together, we try to just pursue a smaller number of things with a greater degree of evidence and really commit to cutting through on those. We don't necessarily care about getting a really long, detailed plan. In fact, often we can write a very long, detailed plan as a way of actually avoiding the fact that we haven't actually got real strategic clarity to get together. See, direction is more important than speed. And what we need is approaches that together as a team, we can build up a shared understanding of what we're really doing together. We use just 4 questions as captured on our Clarify canvas. What impact we want to have, what problem we're trying to solve, what change could make the improvement, and how will we judge whether or not we've been successful. If you can answer with some good enough answers, these 4 questions around one core area, we say you've got some good enough thinking there, you've got some promising thinking for improvement, and now we need to get into action to learn more before we update our thinking again. After we've got that clear thinking set, we've done some iterations of our thinking, then we want to move into iterative work in execution. This is about starting to avoid thinking about implementation through a whole year lens, but rather we start to embrace the idea that we're going to work in 5 to 8 week cycles. And we look ahead to the school year ahead and we start thinking, okay, how do we take our idea? Let's move that forward in 5 to 8 weeks. Let's learn from what's working and what's not working. Let's move again for 5 to 8 weeks. This is about school improvement teams sort of embracing the sense that we don't need a grand operational plan for how everything's going to play out because things are going to keep moving on us. Staff are going to change around and other shifts are going to occur. But we can see our year as a series of 5 to 8 week cycles, pushing forward, learning from that, taking our next steps. We too often take on too much over a given period of time. We overload ourselves. And some of the core work here is to work on a manageable amount, to find a way to do just 5 to 8 weeks of work in the right direction, learn from that, and then take next steps. Well, the final area that we rethink as you embrace a more agile approach to this work is the fact that even if you've got good enough clarity and you've taken some sharp action, because we're working in complex relational environments, we're going to have to tune in and track how our changes are actually running out in our environment. You see, we're always in that messy middle of school improvement. And we're going to find a way to navigate that messy middle by embracing the fact that after we've taken some action, we want to track some lead indicators. We want to predict, collect, and analyze some information about what's changing and what's not yet changing. Not so we can judge ourselves, not so we can evaluate in a final sense this work, but so that we can learn from it. So we can see what's working, what's not yet working, study that variability, and then move to the next step. So as you start to explore these concepts that we group under Agile School Leadership, what I want you to see is there's many things here that probably already overlap with certain practices and approaches that you've used in the past because you've worked out that these are just better ways of working. Working on fewer things with greater clarity, breaking up your implementation into small cycles of 5 to 8 weeks, and then going and collecting some information about how it's going, monitoring, not to judge, not to evaluate, but so you can celebrate where it's working and you can course correct where it's not. And within 5 to 8 weeks, we can get even closer in the direction that we're heading and to the impact that we want to see. So this is what we call Agile School Leadership, or taking a more agile approach to the work of school improvement planning and implementation. Over the last half decade or so, thousands of leaders have taken these simple ideas and found ways to embed them into their team rhythms and routines. And I really look forward to seeing what you do as you engage with these ideas, as you hear from local leaders who have already made progress in this work. And you can feedback to me and my team about what it looks like as you take these ideas to activate the work you're already committed to, but to find a little bit more momentum, get unstuck, get some more follow through, and find some energy in your improvement work again. All the best with your work today. I look forward to hearing how it goes.